After viewing this video, you decide to go back and look at the thumbnail and determine that the location heading was clickbait. You would be absolutely right. It was meant as clickbait. My name is William Hutchison. I'm the owner, along with my wife, of Armenia Colombia Realty for Expats and Salento Colombia Realty. The purpose of my video today is to tell you about the pitfalls of purchasing property in Armenia. The things I'm about to tell you would probably be applicable to all of Colombia, but I'm referencing Armenia only. To put it in as few words as possible, the real estate scene here is like nothing you've ever dealt with before. It's a free-for-all. It's absolutely unbelievable. There's no MLS to help with values, although here with MLS reporting values, and I'll get into it later, would be of little use. One of the big issues is how you become a real estate agent in Colombia. You go on Facebook, and in 5 minutes you post and you say that you are a real estate agent, and away you go. There's no licensing, there's no education, there's no registration. The big thing for me is there's no discipline. So agents pretty much do whatever they want. I went on Facebook. It took me a little longer because I also set up a company webpage. Many so-called agents here don't have a webpage, and took a little longer to become a real estate agent, but it was easy. I didn't have to register. I didn't have to get a license. I didn't have to go to school. But I brought 40 years of finance and residential home construction to the party. And many of the agents here don't have any kind of business or professional background. The one big problem that I see here that expats have to deal with is the concept of fiduciary duty. Fiduciary duty is simply the principle that you act for the person or persons that you're representing, and to no detriment to them, you put their interests and their concerns ahead of everyone else, including yourself. And that just isn't anything here that many understand. You can have a situation where you have an agent that's acting for both sides, and it's an uncomfortable position to be in, I can assure you, because I have been in that position. You end up, at least in my situation, my practice, you act for neither. You become a referee. And even though you may have an agreement signed with the seller that says you act in their best interests, the best that you can do is just stay as neutral as possible, not exchange information that you're given confidentially, passing it on to the other party. It's not an easy position to be in, and I liken it to a referee, and I think that's the best comparison that we can make when we're put in that position. The one big thing here too is the concept of two values. There's a commercial value and there's a registered value that shows up on the deed. Since 2018, it's been illegal to show anything except the commercial value. The commercial value is what actually changes hands. But in many cases, the sellers, to lower their capital gains tax payable, will have a lower value or want to have a lower value reported. But all that does is pass on that capital gains tax obligation to the buyer when he sells. So for example, if something sells for 400 million and 200 million is reported, the difference between the 4 and the 2 is something that the buyer is going to have to look after when he sells. And at 15%, that's 30 million pesos. It's illegal. It's been illegal since 2018. For confirmation of that, you can go to YouTube, search the Langon Group. Alan Gongora has a 5-part How to Purchase Property in Colombia series. And towards the end of the very first tutorial, I think it's around the 12 or 13 minute mark, he gets into this concept. We walk away from any transactions, any sales that involve the lower value. We use Langon Group for our clients, and our position is that we're here at the pleasure of the Colombian government, and I don't want any problem with my visa or anything else because I was involved in something that wasn't legal. If DN, the tax people here, or anything like IRS, they're going to roll everybody in when they find out about something like this, and you're going to have to prove your innocence because you're going to be assumed guilty. The other thing I want to mention before I go is there's a lot of promotion here on YouTube from other channels about buying property for very little money relative to the United States. You have to look at that as two different markets, and maybe something for 50,000 looks like a really good deal, but the value could be only 30,000. And if you get gringoed on that, you're not ever going to get your money back. Some are promoted as fixer-uppers. They're dumps to start with. You're going to put money into it, and all you're going to have in a low, a strato, possibly a 2 or a 3, you're going to have a little better dump. And the one thing that you have to recognize about Colombia, it's very easy to buy, but it's not so easy getting out and trying to sell. Our slogan has always been, you make your money when you buy, you get your money when you sell. And the fact that you would overpay to get something comparable to somewhere in North America for 20% of its value in North America, all you have is a little better dump. And I would stay away from those sorts of things. The other thing many people don't realize is that within the first 2 years, there's a 33% tax on the profit that you would make in that sort of a transaction, if there is even a profit. After 2 years, the tax rate drops to 15%. It was brought in to stop speculation. Going back to the lower value being reported, I suspect many expats that have bought have got caught in that game, because the lawyer will say to you, we're going to help out the seller, we're going to report a lower value, and what expat wouldn't say, because they don't understand, oh yeah, well that's fine, they're happy to get the property and everything looks rosy. But the lawyer doesn't go on to say, what we're doing is we're moving that capital gains tax payable to you when you sell. And that's one good reason to use separate lawyers. You cannot use the seller's lawyer and have any confidence that he's acting for you, because the fact that he's willing to report that lower value against the law should tell you all you need to know about where the lawyer's loyalties lie, and they aren't with you. I hope this gives you some information on buying here. We're here to help. Our interest is, as our company name says, our interest is expats, and we'll see that you get the best price possible. We'll do the negotiation for you. We'll direct you to the people that can help you the most. Langon, we have 100% confidence in. The thing I like about their firm is they're English speaking, but they're also black and white. There's no gray. There's no reporting the lower value. It's the commercial value, and that's the end of that story. That's it for today. William Hutchison. Video is a little longer than I wanted, but I wanted to go into that detail for you. Have a great day. I live in paradise, and you can too.